it might be time to grab your tinfoil hats because the aliens are coming, and apparently a lot of them. There have been almost 1,000 documented UFO sightings in the UK since January 2021, and they even seem to be targeting certain areas of the UK more than others, with most sightings taking place in Greater Manchester, London and Chester. Now, at the end of July, 3 former military officials in the US told Congress they believe aliens are real and the government are purposely concealing evidence. A former intelligence official went on record to say the US government is in possession of non-human biological remains.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
Biologics came with some of these recoveries, yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
So should we all be gearing up for an alien invasion, or is it all a bit of a conspiracy? Joining me now to discuss all this, UFO-ologist and host of Weaponized podcast, Jeremy Corbell, and UFO expert, the one who investigated UFOs for the US Ministry of Defense, Nick Pope. Gentlemen, thank you. Nick, I'll start with you. You were the person who obtained and released the military-filmed Pentagon-confirmed UFO videos that put into motion the first congressional hearings on UFOs in over 50 years, and the recent hearings as well. You were part of that. So, I mean, when we approach this topic, people can get a bit silly about it. You know, we had the X-Files music, talk about alien invasions, but this is very much your career, your life's work. Do you think people take it seriously enough?
Well, they do in the United States, sure. We've just had these congressional hearings, and you know, this person, David Grush, who's testified, was verifiably part of the Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force. If he was making this up, he would be committing a federal offense, by the way, because this was under oath. He has apparently given the Senate Intelligence Committee, the House Intelligence Committee, and the Inspector General of the intelligence community very specific, checkable facts, project names, locations, a list of people who are prepared to testify. This is being taken very, very seriously now as a defense and national security issue in the United States. And it's a long time that the British government reopened their UFO program, by the way, that was terminated at the end of 2009.
Indeed. And look, Jeremy, I think I misnamed you at the start there. In terms of the recent congressional hearings that we heard in the US, what struck me most was that it was announced, but to very little fanfare. People didn't seem to care. It's almost like they've been through a pandemic and there's a war going on and the price of everything is through the roof, and aliens suddenly aren't that interesting or worrisome to them anymore.
Well, first of all, that's incorrect. And hello, Nick, nice to see you. This is a completely different situation than is being shown right here. You said put on your tinfoil hats. People should put on their battle helmets. Right now, this is being taken seriously from the world public. It's a serious topic, and people need to understand why it's a serious topic. At this time right now, you've been told something historic. You've been told something historic from your government. You've been told something historic from my government. Right now, what you've been told is that UFOs are indeed real, that there is a technological aspect to it, and the world needs to catch up with consensus reality. It is being taken very seriously at the highest levels of government, and for reasons that are really good. One is strategic surprise. It's really simple to understand that if somebody has technology that we don't have that can outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform our greatest fighter planes and weapons systems, like Commander David Fravor, who testified at that hearing, told you, then this is something that it should be understood differently than how it's being presented right now.
Well, you've got an opportunity to respond to that.
Yeah,
I do.
No, this is all absolutely serious. I mean, a few months ago, this sort of thing would have been maybe dismissed, but now it's being discussed in the United States Congress, in the scientific and academic community. There is, I think, a growing realization that this is real. And there are going to be more things coming in the next few weeks and months, by the way. NASA is doing a study as we speak. They're going to report later this month. There will be more hearings in the United States Congress, and there will be more whistleblowers coming forward, speaking out on the record, under oath, on the floor of Congress. This is a fact.
Jeremy,
Yeah,
is there
I
an
would-
extent to the amount of information that normal people can handle? Is there an argument the government should withhold some information?
The poison right now is the lack of information and the lack of proper reporting on this. The only remedy and the only cure is to inform the American and global public. We are living in a data-rich environment when it comes to UFOs, or UAP, as you say. But the real danger is secrecy and lack of transparency. And what Nick said is correct. And I know because I've directly spoken with the witnesses that have already taken action that is not yet public to come forward. And America will lead by example, as we do at our greatest moments in history. But this is not an American issue. This is a global issue. It's not just bipartisan. And that's why you see AOC and Representative Tim Burchett leading the charge here, from people who are under oath, who have been designated to protect our national interest as well as our global interest. And we need to really look at how we treat David Grush right now, because these hearings, these historic hearings that you saw, was the first time in history that people are talking with firsthand information where they directly engaged UFOs in a combat situation as well as in training times. So what we see right now is an emboldening and an empowering of people who desire to come forward because it is the right, the just, the ethical, and the legal thing to do. But we need to see how David Grush, who is the only whistleblower that was standing up there, the other two people, they were just testifying. George Knapp and I, my mentor in journalism, we also put something on congressional record so that the public would be informed. People should look at that.
Both of you, thank you very much for your time. We've learned quite a bit there about UFOs.